Hey there, it's Dr. Mark Postles here, and I was just contemplating on the current times and looking at how many practices are really doing it hard. They're really suffering. Many of you haven't been able to be open even, and those who have been able to see people on a very restricted basis. And in some parts of the world, it's business as normal. But I think it brings home the consideration here that, and I would say the fact that if you look after your people in the good times, then they'll look after you in the bad times. Now, even though they may not be able to get to you, they're still with you. And I think this is an important thing to get that people are damaged at the moment. People are afraid. Many people are hunkering down. They're not expanding out into their normal life, and so this obviously has this ripple effect into us as chiropractors, and it's about finding out ways in which we can work with that. So that just goes through a little bit of an overview on this one, because really this is an opportunity for us to recreate ourselves. This is an opportunity to look at your practice and say, how can we adapt? How can we be flexible? How can we do something that we haven't done before and go to a new level with our practice? So, what are the pluses that we're going to take out of this situation? So I thought we'd dive over into the iPad here, and I'll just go through a model that might help us explain or help us understand where we are and the options that we have from here. Now, here we have a model which we use within Quest, which is a model of the brain, but it is also a model of the practice. It's also a model of many other dynamics around people, be it groups, teams, organizations, even countries, and possibly even the world. So we rather than go into the really big picture stuff there, I want to go down into something that looks at how it impacts on us as a practice, as chiropractors. Now, when we're operating out of our right frontal areas, which is up and through here, we are being attractive. We're looking at opportunities. We're looking at the things that we can do, the neat new stuff, all the probabilities and the possibilities that are out there that we can transport ourselves into the future, and capture and bring back into the present. So these are all the opportunities which are available to us in our world. And during this time, then we get stimulated. We get filled with the idea of how we can become, or what we can become, or how things could be, and that leads to great times. And so, if we have a model here, whenever we're in a state of greatness, we're in a state of moving towards something, things are great. The great times are the result of that type of thinking and those types of actions. Now, what happens is that when we take opportunities and we bring them into our practice, for example, or our world generally, and we do more with less. So we start to work them, and we start to create a sort of a hierarchy of function associated with those ideas. And that, of course, comes with regulation. Right, so regulation then is part of organizational structure. It's around protection. It's around nurturing. So we want to make sure that everyone's looked after. So this is the normal pattern that we end up with a hierarchy, and government is certainly really good at that, and our education system and many other bureaucratically oriented structures are there to make sure that the opportunities don't get out of hand, that we regulate them, that things get sorted. Now, unfortunately, what that does, though, is that tends to weaken people. So we then end up with weak people who are working in a subservient way underneath the boss, the master, or in fact the government. So we have a structure there that feeds off the opportunities and is supporting development and growth, but actually in the process and weakens people. And so over a period of time, then these weak people and in this highly regulated, organized structure. And you can think of your practice around this. You could think of your community or your country or the world even. Over a period of time, that then starts to create bad times. Now, the reason it creates bad times is that weak people want to have more dependence. So they're taught to be dependent, and that tends to make them less of who they are. That tends to make them more dependent on the group or the social network. And so the society then becomes their number one focus. And the opportunities that we started this whole discussion with are starting to go into the background because we need the regulation, we need the order, we need the structure, and so we get weakened as people, and that leads to a group of people who are weakened. Then it leads to bad times. Productivity is reduced, the development and innovation is reduced. And meanwhile, the control and the regulation has increased. So, we have this dynamic, I would suggest, happening at this point in time. Now, we have two choices as an individual, because once we've lost that individuality of the opportunities up in there, in quadrant one, that right frontal part, and we're doing dependency, or we're behooving to the government for regulation, for income, for societal recognition. So there's a bunch of things there that we start to buy into independency. And so the challenge here is, do we do more of the same? Do we continue to do this relationship here, which is a symbiotic relationship between the people and the power, and do we therefore enhance bad times? And this is I think a decision. This is it's quite a political viewpoint, I guess. But it's a decision that we have right now: is do we continue with that, or do we look at what else we could do to expand? Because what we know, if we look back through history, expansion happens out of bad times, and there's more success created, and not just in financial terms, but certainly is in financial terms, out of the depressions, out of the bad times, when people have to go outside that the comfort zone, because as the dependence starts to or the support starts to ebb, and there's not enough of support and that we're being used to, and so we have to then reinvent ourselves. So reinvention is an act of creation. So we then start to move into this higher level, this high vibration of creating new and or innovating what is. So it's about at this point in time, we start to look at, can we ascend ourselves to something new? Can we make this different? Can we make it a new way? Can we do our practice in a new way? What are the options that we've got? And we're facing a lot of opportunities at this point in time, with various regulations coming in that are going to be impacting the way that we do our business going forward. And it's not just the financial business; it's how we do our expression of our life's calling as a chiropractor. So this state of bad times creates strong people. So strong people are people who see the opportunities, still work within regulation or work within structure and order. It may not be exactly the same as a hierarchical, but see the bad times as being the opportunity for growth through into a new time. And that new time is going to produce new opportunities. So I think we have the situation right now where we have a window of time where we can then look at our life, look at our practice, and say, okay, what is it that we can do to evolve? And you have this opportunity, along with all of us, to connect with our people, to connect with the practice members that are so loyal to us. And they're really scared. They're wondering what to do. They don't know, who to believe. And simply reaching out to them, just be there for them. It's about nurturing these people in a way that they know that they're heard, and without judgment. They may be left wing, right wing. They may be, looking at different options that are being forced or suggested or very highly coerced on them. And it's okay. Let them be who they are. Let them make their own decisions. But at the same time, just by reaching out to them, you'll see that they open up. A phone call to them, a text, a little reminder that, hey, you're here, and if there's anything you need from us, just give us a yell. Feel free to call, and so forth. So now is the time. Right now is the time for this. Now is the time to, in many respects, walk our talk as far as chiros go. We've had a very, very easy run for a long period of time, and now we're in a state of bad times or challenging times. And so this is the time when the strong can get stronger, the strong can then step up, and we can invest in ourselves. We can grow ourselves, we can grow our team, we can grow our practice. So now's the time for change, and I'd suggest that if you are interested in that and you want a different perspective, maybe some support, maybe some challenge, then we're here to do that for you and with you. So just click below there and give us a yell, and we'll have a chat and see if there's an area that we can be of assistance to help you to go to the next level, to help you to take the opportunities that are here right now, and rather than going with a flock, with a herd, just to stick your head out and to go to this next level of opportunity. So give us a yell. Love to have a chat.